The first time I saw wrestling, I guess it kind of changed my life, and a lot of people that like and love wrestling say the same thing, whether they work in it or they don't. My love of wrestling helps me live with CF in the sense that I guess people with any other hobbies and interests would do the same, is that it's an escape. It allows me to switch off from the real world and stop thinking about my treatments and stop thinking about my health and just get, invested and enthralled by these characters and what they're doing. The first time I watched that on TV as a child, it just blew me away about these people that could do amazing feats of strength, but the kind of spectacle that it was as well. In university I did professional sound and video technology. I used to go to Preston to watch shows on a monthly basis. The promoter that ran the shows knew that I was interested in media and knew that I was getting my degree. I was asked if I wanted to get involved, and then I ended up within a few months running the entire production. I was in charge of filming the events, I was in charge of editing the events. I was lucky enough to be able to direct the first ever high definition pay-per-view in British wrestling. So I take telling workplaces and colleagues about my CF on a case-by-case basis, and it's unfortunate that that's the way that it has to be. And I know that a lot of people are in the same boat, but you can never be, unfortunately, you can never be sure of how people are going to react to that. But also, there's only a certain amount of time you can go before your work colleagues start to see you cough, and you can't hide your treatments forever. And so the longer you leave it, the harder it gets. But I do think eventually you do have to tell them. Being bullied was very, very difficult as a child, and obviously having to deal with cystic fibrosis as well. So things, I would get chased in school a lot. I would have equipment taken away from me. I had my bag stolen once that had all my medication in it, and it was thrown up a tree, so I didn't have my medication that day. Instead of teachers dealing with the issue, they just told me to ignore it, which I don't think is very productive. Also, I didn't react the best way to it either, so sometimes I got aggressive and occasionally got violent, and that's on me for not dealing with that in the best way that I possibly could. However, at the time, I felt that that was the only way to deal with it because my concerns and things were just not being addressed. As much as it was a negative experience in my life, I'm kind of grateful for it, and I'm glad that it happened. And I know that sounds like an awful thing to say, but I guess it kind of shaped me and made me who I am today, because having experienced that lack of tolerance and lack of respect, and knowing what I went through personally and how it made me feel, I guess has made me a more tolerant person of other people going through difficult situations. My 11-year-old self, if I was to give him advice, it's very difficult. I feel like this is a double-edged sword, because as much as I would want to give my 11-year-old self a lot of advice, my 11-year-old self wouldn't listen to me anyway. He wouldn't listen to anybody. If he was going to listen, and if I was going to give him some advice, I'd just say, always try and be honest with people and upfront about your condition, because it will benefit you more in the long run. And just stick it out. Things are difficult and you're having a tough time right now, but things will get better, and you're going to achieve more than you ever imagined that you would, and you're going to meet your heroes that you never thought you would ever meet, and you're going to work with a lot of people that you never thought you would ever work with, and you're going to see and do things that you never thought you would ever do. So just stick it out.